I was a perfect, golden, super Christian, ideal man.
And inside?
Inside, I was scared, broken, afraid. I knew it wasn't real.
So I came out to my parents when I was 15. They kicked me out of the house.
It's inside programs that claim to perform gay conversions. He's here with a
experience with conversion therapy was very much determined
so-called
by
conversion therapy.
Kind of
that conversion therapy had on the way.
Very young age that I was male, but also knew from a very young age that I would be destined to lose my family, essentially.
For this now. Should have stopped this a long time ago.
Just trying to help you, love. I've been so worried. You will get better.
What is all this?
You're going to be okay. Promise. Thank you for coming.
Sorry, it's the least I could do. I know this is hard, Daniel, but there is another path.
This is just all the standard terms. But it's just at the bottom there. Hey? Sign here and you can read it later. Come on. You said you'd do this. You're sick, but we can make it better. That's what you want, right?
It's important that you learn to love and embrace your body. It's a wonderful gift. When you're ready, please take off your clothes. Well, come on, mate. Now. See, does that look like a girl's body to you?
This evil from our son Daniel. The way towards righteousness, towards truth. Drive this sickness from our son Daniel. Lead him from the darkness.
Oh, much shorter than that.
Sure.
Don't hold back.
Hiya! Hi. Daniel.
Oh, we've missed our boy. I'm so glad you're better.
It's just so nice to have everybody here again. I know, absolutely. Back to normal.
Before we begin, I want to ask you something simple, something maybe a little personal. If you grew up in a religious community, think back to the messages you heard. Not the sermons or the scripture readings, but the comments whispered after service. The jokes at family gatherings, the warning disguised as concern. Did you ever hear someone say that being LGBTQ+ was wrong? Did you ever hear it preached as a sin, a sickness, or a threat? Or maybe it wasn't talked about at all. Not condemned outright, but avoided, brushed aside, treated like something too uncomfortable to name. And if you're honest with yourself, have you ever repeated those comments, laughed along with them, absorbed them without even realizing it? For many, these messages were subtle, woven into everyday conversations. Youth groups, classrooms, dining tables, but for young queer people listening, every small comment carried weight. This documentary is not about blaming individual people of faith. It's about understanding the culture many of us were raised in, how it shaped us, how it shaped our beliefs, and how, intentionally or not, it shaped the lives of LGBTQ+ youth. So before we move forward, ask yourself, what did I hear? What did I learn? And who might have been listening?
Even though it's been 45 years since the American Psychiatric Association determined that homosexuality is not an illness that can be cured, an estimated 700,000 adults in the U.S. have received some kind of conversion therapy.
Studies usually show that religion can protect people from suicide by offering support and hope. But for LGBTQ youth, this isn't always the case. Research has found that being religious does not lower the risk of suicide for LGBTQ young people. In some situations, it can even increase the risk, especially when parents use religion to say negative things about LGBTQ. Throughout history, certain Bible verses have been pulled out of context and weaponized to claim that queer people are sinful, broken, or invalid. For example, Sodom and Gomorrah, Genesis 19. One of the most commonly cited stories is Sodom and Gomorrah. People often claim God destroyed these cities because of homosexuality. But biblical scholars overwhelmingly agree. The sin of Sodom was violence, abuse, and the violation of hospitality, not loving same-sex relationships. Ezekiel 16:49 even says it directly. The sin of Sodom was pride, greed, and neglect of the poor. There is no mention of sexuality at all. Example 2. Man shall not lie with man. Leviticus 18:22 and 20:13. Leviticus contains another verse people quote to argue against LGBTQ plus identities. Man shall not lie with man as with a woman. But this verse is part of the ancient purity laws, the same laws that forbid eating shellfish, wearing mixed fabrics, or trimming your beard. These laws were specific to ancient Israelite ritual purity, not universal moral law. Christians today don't follow 99% of these commands, yet this one gets singled out. Not because it's more important, but because it's convenient.
As for the American Medical and Psychological Associations, they warn against the use of conversion therapy. And now, more than a dozen states ban licensed therapists from using those practices on children.
Today in the United States, a country that prides itself on freedom and equality, conversion therapy is still legal for minors in many states. As of recent national policy analysis, less than half of U.S. states have fully banned licensed conversion therapy for minors. In the remaining states, loopholes and gaps allow religious counselors and unlicensed therapists to continue practicing these harmful methods with little oversight.
Organization called Exodus International.
The mission of Exodus was to help people who were same-sex attracted to not act on that. We're here to listen, to encourage.
Exodus was once the leader in the field, in part because of its charismatic director, Alan Chambers. Chambers was the organization's best advertisement. He had undergone conversion therapy himself and now had a wife and 2 children.
We haven't done everything right.
But even the man who was once the living example of the power of conversion therapy admits he's never seen it work.
We've hurt people.
Alan Chambers shut down Exodus in 2013.
It didn't make me straight. Here I am, happily married to a woman for almost 21 years.
But you're still attracted to men.
That hasn't gone away, and it won't.
The influence of religious belief reaches far beyond churches and classrooms. It extends into courtrooms, legislators, and the very laws that govern people's lives. For decades, religious arguments have shaped public policy, from criminalization of gay marriage to attempts to limit adoption rights, healthcare access, and protections for LGBTQ plus people. These policies were not credited in a vacuum. They were built on a long-standing religious interpretations that labeled queer identities as immoral or sinful. When lawmakers use scripture as justification for discrimination, the consequences ripple across society. They legitimize prejudice, and they reinforce the idea that queer people should be excluded from full participation in civic life. When we look at the laws surrounding conversion therapy and the fact that some states still haven't banned it, we also have to recognize something bigger. The government's priorities have shifted, and not in a good way. Instead of focusing on the issues that actually impact millions of Americans every day, lawmakers are spending their time legislating something as small as personal as who someone loves. We live in a country where healthcare is still unaffordable for many families. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for children, yet Congress can barely agree to discuss it. Homelessness rates are rising, especially among veterans and LGBTQ youth. Climate disasters are increasing, destroying homes and communities every year, and public schools are underfunded, with teachers buying their own supplies. But somehow, instead of addressing these urgent problems, lawmakers are drafting bills about drag queens, bathroom access, and trying to restrict LGBTQ+ rights. It shows a huge disconnect. Instead of solving real issues that cost lives, they're choosing culture wars.
Was a pastor in a megachurch, and I was party to destroying these people.
Pastor Stan Mitchell once himself sent parishioners to conversion therapy.
Do you have any idea of how many young people you had recommended go through conversion therapy?
God, I've tried to forget. I've tried to forget.
But he can't forget the damage he's seen.
In the last 4 years, I've done at least 3 or 4 funerals of people who took their life because of this issue.
Since Mitchell began speaking out in 2015, he has lost 2/3 of his congregation.
The only thing I regret is I didn't do it sooner. People died while I was trying to find courage.
As we talk about the reality of discrimination, misinterpretation of Scripture, and the ongoing harm caused by conversion therapy, it is important to end with something that offers hope, something that saves lives. One of the most powerful resources we have today is the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services for LGBTQ+ youth. But the Trevor Project is more than just a hotline. It provides educational resources for parents and teachers and policy advocacy to protect LGBTQ youth, and peer spaces where young people can talk openly with others who understand what they're going through. And here's how we can utilize it. Share it, use it, learn from it, stand with it. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and make sure donate to Trevor Project.